Hey, I'm Alex. It was supposed to be one of the happiest nights of my life. The house was glowing with warm light, and the smell of roasted chicken filled the air. I was setting the table with our best china, rehearsing the speech in my head, the one where I'd tell my parents that Sarah and I were engaged. Sarah, who had been my rock for the past 3 years. We met at a tech conference, both reaching for the last slice of pepperoni pizza. It was silly, but we clicked instantly. "Everything looks lovely, Alex," Sarah said, stepping into the dining room. She was wearing her green dress, the one that made her eyes shine. I remember thinking how lucky I was. "I hope they'll love the news as much as I do," I said, giving her a quick peck on the cheek. We had planned every detail, down to when we'd break the news during dessert. The anticipation was killing me, but in a good way. Dinner started off wonderfully. Mom had outdone herself with the meal, and Dad was in high spirits, cracking jokes about the neighbors. We laughed, shared stories, and it felt like the perfect moment was building, naturally leading to dessert. As we reached that point, my heart pounded. I took a deep breath and held up the ring, its sparkle catching the light. "Mom, Dad, I wanted to share something special tonight. Sarah and I are engaged." The room went silent. The smile on my mother's face faded, and my father's expression darkened like a storm cloud rolling in. "How dare you decide to marry outside our culture, Alex?" My dad's voice was cold, each word soaked with disbelief and anger. My mom covered her mouth, tears welling up in her eyes. "You're bringing shame to our family," she whispered, more to herself than to me. I was stunned, my words stuck in my throat. This wasn't how I imagined the night would go. "Dad, I love her. She makes me happy. Isn't that what matters?" I pleaded. "You should know better," he shot back, standing so quickly that his chair toppled over. "Get out, and don't come back with such disrespect." Sarah, who had been silent, reached for my hand under the table, giving it a reassuring squeeze. I knew what I had to do. Standing up, I faced my parents, my voice steady. "I'm sorry you feel this way. I hoped for your blessing, but with or without it, I'm marrying Sarah." We left the house that night, the door slamming shut behind us, echoing the finality of the evening. As we drove away, the ring still in my hand, Sarah turned to me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, but her voice firm. "We'll get through this together." And as we headed into the uncertainty of our future, I knew she was right. We were together, and that was what mattered. We were about to start a new chapter, just the two of us against the world. The weeks following my parents' rejection were a blur of emotions and difficult conversations. Sarah and I spent a lot of time at my new apartment, a small but cozy place that became our refuge from the storm. One evening, as we sat down for dinner, my phone buzzed nonstop. It was my Aunt Maria. I hesitated but answered, hoping for some words of comfort. "Alex, dear, what have you done?" "Your mother is devastated." Her voice was a mix of concern and disappointment. "I love Sarah. Aunt Maria. I thought they'd be happy for me. You know our traditions, Alex. Marrying outside the culture. It's hard for them." "I know, but it's my life." The call ended with promises to keep in touch, but the lack of outright support stung. The next day, Sarah and I met with some more closest friends at a local cafe. Jenna, always the outspoken one, slammed her coffee down a bit too hard. "They're your parents, Alex, but they're wrong. You and Sarah are perfect together." Tom, ever the mediator, chimed in, "Maybe give it some time. They might come around." Sarah squeezed my hand under the table, a silent pillar of strength, but I could see the toll it was taking on her. She was always feeling like the outsider, the reason for my estrangement. One weekend, we attended a family gathering on Sarah's side. Her family was warm and welcoming, a stark contrast to my own. Her uncle clapped me on the back and said, "Your family now, Alex. Don't mind the naysayers." Yet despite their support, Sarah felt guilty, as if she were to blame for the rift. That night, back at our place, she broke down. Maybe if I were different, your parents would have accepted me. It's not you, Sarah. It's their old world mindset. We can't let that dictate our happiness. But even as I comforted her, doubts crept into my mind. Was I being selfish? Was my happiness worth this division? The conflict between my love for Sarah and my loyalty to my family tore at me. One afternoon, I sat in the park, watching families go about their day. Laughter echoed from the playground, but I couldn't shake my solemn mood. An old man, noticing my expression, sat down next to me. "Trouble with the heart of the home?" he asked. "Both, I guess," I admitted and ended up sharing my story. He listened quietly, nodding as I spoke. "Son," he said thoughtfully, "home isn't just where you come from. It's where you make it with those who love you, traditions and all." His words lingered in my mind as I made my way back to Sarah. That evening, as we sat on the balcony overlooking the city lights, I took her hands and said, "We'll build our home, Sarah, with or without them. Our love, our rules." In that moment, I knew that no matter the opposition, we would forge our path together, building a future where love transcends tradition. Sarah and I found solace in planning our wedding. We poured our energy into picking venues, tasting cakes, and choosing invitations that told our story, a blend of our cultures, symbolizing unity, love, and diversity. One afternoon, we found ourselves in our counselor's office, a cozy, book-lined room that felt like a safe harbor. Dr. Bennett, our counselor, was a patient listener, helping us navigate the emotional turmoil we faced. "As you build this new chapter," Dr. Bennett said gently, "it's not just about moving past the pain, but understanding and growing from it." His voice was calm, reassuring. Sarah nodded, squeezing my hand. "It's hard. I feel like I'm the reason Alex is estranged from his family." "That's not true, Sarah," I quickly responded. "It's about them not accepting my choice, not about you." Dr. Bennett smiled slightly. "It's important to remember this isn't about blame. It's about creating a space where both of you feel accepted and loved, no matter the external pressures." The next few weeks were filled with wedding preparations. Each detail we planned together felt like a step toward healing. But in the back of my mind, the thought of reconciling with my parents weighed on me. Could I truly move on without trying one last time? That question hit hard when, one evening, my brother Michael unexpectedly showed up at our apartment. "Mom's sick, Alex. She's been asking for you," he said, his voice tense. The news hit me like a punch to the gut. My first instinct was to rush to her side, but then I remembered their harsh words, their rejection. Sarah, ever perceptive, touched my arm. Maybe this is a chance to mend things, or at least find some closure. With her encouragement, I decided to visit my mom. As I stood outside her hospital room, I hesitated, unsure of what awaited me. Taking a deep breath, I stepped inside. She looked frail, a shadow of the strong woman I remembered. When she saw me, there was a flicker of surprise, followed by relief. "Alex," she whispered, her voice weak. "Mom, I'm here," I said, simple words loaded with unspoken emotions. We talked, really talked, for the first time in months. She shared her fears and regrets, not fully accepting my choices, but the love between us was undeniable. It wasn't complete reconciliation, but it was a start, a small step toward understanding. Leaving the hospital, I felt a mix of sadness and hope. Back at home, Sarah and I discussed the visit. Whatever the future held, one thing was clear. We were in this together, no matter what came next. She affirmed as we resumed our wedding plans, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose. We weren't just planning a celebration. We were laying a foundation of our future, brick by brick, built on respect, love, and the courage to embrace our true selves despite the adversity. Our wedding day arrived, small and intimate, held in a quaint garden Sarah had fallen in love with during our venue search. The setting was simple yet beautiful, with flowers blooming all around us, mirroring the new life we were about to start together. Only a few close friends and supportive family members were present, each one a testament to the love and strength that carried us through our toughest times. As Sarah walked down the aisle, radiant in a flowing white dress, there wasn't a dry eye to be seen. The air was thick with emotion. Each step she took symbolized our journey, challenging, yet filled with unwavering love and commitment. When she reached me, her hand in mine felt like the final piece of a puzzle, perfectly fitting, meant to be. Standing before our loved ones, I took a deep breath, ready to make not just a vow to Sarah, but a declaration for our future. Today, I not only take you, Sarah, as my wife, but I also vow to build a life with you that celebrates our strengths, respects our differences, and defies the odds we've faced. Together, we will create a world where love is the only culture that defines us. The ceremony continued with heartfelt vows, gentle laughter, and the kind of warmth that only true acceptance brings. As we exchanged rings, the simplicity of the moment underscored the profound nature of our bond, one that had been forged in the fires of adversity, but was stronger for it. After the ceremony, as we mingled with our guests, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my father. My heart stopped for a moment, unsure of what to expect. With a reassuring nod from Sarah, I read it. Asterisk, congratulations, Alex. Your mother and I wish you happiness, asterisk. It was brief, and while it didn't erase the pain of the past, it was a gesture, a small olive branch that hinted at the possibility of healing. Sarah squeezed my hand, her smile telling me everything I needed to know. We're doing this together, no matter what comes our way, she whispered. Later, as we stood looking out at our guests, basking in the joy of the day, we both knew this was just the beginning. Our future stretched out before us, promising not just challenges, but the potential for incredible joy and fulfillment. We were ready to face whatever life threw our way, knowing that at the end of the day, we had each other, and that was more than enough. As we walked back through the garden, the setting sun cast a golden glow around us, the light of 1,000 possibilities shining on the path ahead. Together, we stepped into our new life, not just as husband and wife, but as partners in a journey of acceptance, understanding, and profound love. That's the end of our story, folks. Now, I have a question for you. Do you think cultural traditions should hold more weight than personal happiness in matters of love and marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments below.